This is Wendell Catlett, man. This is Leverage Your Life. Hello again. I'm Wendell Catlett. This is Leverage Your Life podcast. With me today is my guy Jason. Our podcast is about leveraging your life and using your life to level up in life. And Jason, this guy's the epitome of it. One of the smartest people I ever met in my life. I like to rub that in. You actually really are. Really is one
You're
of
not
the
just
smartest
saying
people.
it.
I'm not just saying it.
All
I really
right.
feel like it. So Jason is one of the guys that I really do look up to. He's a mentor of mine. Jason, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Jason Sherman. I'm from the Washington area. Wendell and I know each other from the real estate brokerage business.
Yep.
I have a brokerage, but before that, I was a title attorney, came from law school. So that's a little bit about my background, and we met in real estate.
Yeah. So how I met Jason is, so I've been with a company of brokerage before Jason for about 6 years. I was thinking about starting my own brokerage, but I enjoy having the mentor role in my life when it comes to real estate, just because I need someone to lean on. My previous company for 6 years, I had a mentor who's still my mentor. He was the owner of the broker, but after a while, the message from him got stagnant. And I wanted not in a bad thing. It's just like a coach in sports that when you have a coach, sometimes the message need to get changed, and I wanted to change his message by getting into more of a luxury field. So Jason's brokerage caught my attention because he had a luxury brokerage, and I was excited about that. Another guy named Jason, who I like better than you, Jason. No, Jason. So his name is Jason Martin. Jason Martin actually recruited me. He called me to his office. He wanted me to join his team, and after talking with me, like, you know what, you and I like. He said, if you want to grow your team, I think the excellent person for you to talk to is Jason Martin, Jason Sherman, and this is Jason Sherman. So when I met Jason Sherman, I seen him, and I was like, I just like, as soon as you step in the room, you feel the energy. I'm like, this guy just seems like he know. You can see it in his eyes. You can see his focus and the way he sat down and talked to me. And the best part about communication, which I learned through therapy, is listening. And I seen that you were a great listener. And I said, you know what? I think at that moment, that's when I was learning how to listen, because I'm a talkative person, man. So I was learning how to listen, and I seen that you were listening. You was trying to figure out a way how you and I can work together. And then I showed my ace in the real estate only. I showed her, I brought her in on the second meeting. And she's like, Wendell, let's sign right here. I'm like, no. She wanted to sign, I don't know if you remember. She wanted to sign on the dot at the table. I'm like, I said, it's negotiation. You can't just be like, she's like, no, this is the perfect spot. So when she said it's the perfect spot, man, so I signed up. And that's how I met Jason. Ever since I've been with Jason, it's been really motivating and really inspiring, and he's always trying. That's one of the things I like about him. He's always trying to level up. He's always trying to improve. He's always looking for better ways to help us. That's one of the big things that I like about Jason. But Jason, I'm not going to keep on talking, right? Let's talk about your background and talk about who is Jason, if you can.
Yeah. Well, first, I appreciate what you said, and for sure when we met, we clicked.
Right.
I think we share a lot of the same values.
Absolutely.
And we're looking for a lot of the same things out of life,
right, in
our own way. Your question was just a little bit about the business and...
Yeah, so my question I just really wanted the people to know who you are, because I could tell why I brought you in, but I really wanted the people to hear who you are from you.
Yeah, so I could tell through a few different stories.
Mm-hmm.
One, when I was working for a title company, I really enjoyed that work.
Mm-hmm.
I had a mentor at the time who I really appreciated, and I had this entrepreneurial craving to try my own thing, to start something and see if there was any success behind it.
Right.
And in order to do that, I needed to write a business plan. I needed to borrow money from the bank. I needed to have support because I didn't sell homes, so I needed people to come in and do all of that.
Right.
And honestly, I think I had more enthusiasm than structure at that point.
Right.
But once I was able to secure some of those things, I had a wife pregnant with a baby at the time.
Right.
I had a small loan from the bank, and they were already pressuring for that to be paid back. And I had no revenue coming in.
Right.
And so I just had to work like a crazy person to get it up and running. I remember I put on 50 pounds.
Wow.
I ended up getting back surgery, which we were kind of
Right,
talking
exactly,
about.
right.
I literally broke my back getting it up and running. But to me, it was important from like a life standpoint, like to see if I could do it, and it was worth whatever it took from me. Even
Right.
my life, I was
Right.
like, you can have it. I just want to get this thing up and running
Right.
and starting. And then once you do that, a few people come on board.
Right.
Someone like yourself would come on board back then 10 years ago.
Right.
And you can't screw it up because everyone can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Everyone can work with another person.
Yeah.
There's no continued obligation.
Right.
And so that really began the foundation of, I guess, a new chapter in my life,
Right.
which was understanding business and how it relates to kind of your personal mindset
Right.
and combining the two. And you have a lot of good days and you have a lot of bad days. In fact, you probably have more bad days than good
Absolutely.
days. And bad things happen. People who you expect to help you grow the business don't. People that you think are going to, like Justin and I had another business partner at the beginning who turned out to not be a positive impact on the company.
Right.
He ended up going off and doing something else. So all these things that don't go in your favor, and the only thing that you really can do is just keep pushing and going.
Right.
And I think the attitude is, I always take the scene from Shawshank Redemption where he's climbing through the sewer at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nobody's chasing that guy because nobody else wants to do that.
Right.
And so I think the harder it is to do something, and maybe even the longer that it takes, the less competition you have.
Right.
Because nobody else is into it.
Right, exactly.
I
love that.
Yeah.
I love that, man. So I had other questions. I want to stick to that point, man, because that a lot of people don't understand that. Because a lot of times when you are doing something that's extremely hard, a lot of people quit. Most people quit, right? But if you really want that goal, you want to keep pushing through that. Right, and one of the points that you just made is that people don't understand that, again, most people quit. So if it's hard, you break through that. Again, what you just said, the competition is small, because now it's like you exceeded the limit that most can go. You exceeded that the threshold where it's capped off at. So now it's like, let's just say you wanted to get to, I don't know, any type of level, man. Now it's the small 1%. I guess when they say, what do you call rich people are like, the millionaires, so it's only like 1% of the world, right? So that means if you're not, let's just say if you're not getting up early in the morning, you're not doing your ritual, you're not doing you're not working out, you're not doing whatever it takes to get you to that next level, you're gonna fail, right? You're gonna fail. I mean, I won't say you're gonna fail, but you're gonna eventually retract like everyone else. But if you do those things, you're gonna exceed. So I really like that, man. So, segue it back to what you were saying. What were some of your major hurdles that got you to that point?
Well, I think for one, real estate brokerage is about supporting real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
It's about handling the administrative back end, the marketing support, the business development, all of those things, because the agent is front and center with the client.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I wasn't out there acting as a real estate agent,
right.
We needed agents to be with us,
right,
and to use our services and to believe in the business.
Yeah.
And that was not so easy to do at the beginning, because there's lots of different choices out there.
Right.
And so I think the hard part was attracting talent and keeping talent.
Right.
And then keeping up with all these competitors who at the time had more things.
Right.
And so what we had to do was leverage, sort of these old kind of cliches. You play the cards you're dealt.
Right.
And so we had cards. They were what they were.
Right.
But we had to find things that were good about us.
Yeah.
And then we had to push that forward and then catch up in other areas. And so what I found in building a business, and so we're 10 years old now.
Okay.
I don't consider us anywhere close to being done.
I love that.
But just getting through the first 10 years, I think it requires a lot of humility.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the long-term nature of building something that's stable.
Right.
And I wouldn't even say we're at that point yet. I think we need another 10 years to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And just, I think it is I think it's humility and perseverance and willing to kind of go the long way. I think that reactive desire to have something happen quickly is bad.
Right.
And I think it hurts a lot of people in business. They just want things too quick.
Right. They say the fast money always goes away fast, right?
Yeah.
You want to focus on building something sustainable. And that's one of the things that I do admire about you, because you remind me of me. Even though we reach a certain level, we always thinking like we know where it is. We're not close to where we need to be at, and so it's always going to put us. Even though to myself, and I'm sure you feel the same way, I don't feel like I'm ahead of a lot of people.
Right.
But if I actually reflect on who I am and where my position is based off where I've been and some of the peers that I surrounded myself with in the past, I can see that I am a little ahead, but it doesn't feel like it. But that's what I'm saying. So in our mind, we're going to always continue. I was actually talking about my last mentor. My last broker was the mentor I was telling you about. He's close to retirement, close to 60. And he said he's going to retire. He's setting up his life for retirement now. So he got all the retirement things that he got allocated, the properties, his portfolios, it's all lined up for retirement. But he told me years ago, he said, I don't think I'm ever going to retire. He said there's always something else that I want to achieve. He said, but just in case I want to retire, I got myself to retire. He said I can go into I can sell my real estate business, I can sell this business. Now just going to consulting. What you think? You ever retire? Like you ever just sit home and just relax, or you think that you're gonna?
Well, I have right at the moment. I have 3 kids, and the youngest is 10 months,
right?
And I'm 45.
10 months. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't see retirement anywhere in the future for me. But you do. I think one thing, if you work hard at your business, is that over a long period of time, you can find ways to surround yourself in your business in a way that gives you a little bit more comfort than maybe you did at the very beginning. And so if you enjoy what you do, there may be aspects of it you want to do forever, and then there's some parts that you go, I'd rather not have to do that as much. If you can outgrow, I don't think you ever got to outgrow everything. Right. And I think there's this false understanding of like, at the very end, it's all wonderful. All your aches and pains go away. Nobody delivers drama to your doorstep.
Tell me a little bit more about your current situation. Who is Jason now? I know we heard a little bit about your struggles, but who is Jason now? And I guess who is he now? And I guess you want to talk about your brokerage. You talk about your life. What at this moment? Who is Jason now?
Yeah, it's all one. So I think. For me, part of my own life journey is really understanding that your personal life, your professional life, your goals for everything in between, they do come together.
They do.
And to sort of keep it all separate, at least in my world, doesn't seem to really be possible. So I just kind of lump it all in one place. So for the brokerage, it's very much about growth. We're 10 years old. As we hit our 10-year mark, we had opportunities. We could have sold. We could have changed who we, sort of worked with from an affiliation standpoint. And as we went through that process, our decision is we love what we do and we want to build and keep going. Right. And when you make that decision, you realize that things could fall apart. 10 years guarantees you nothing. Doesn't, bankruptcy, foreclosure, you can rise, you can fall. I will always remember this football player, growing up in the area, I was like a big Washington fan. I remember Irving Fryer played from the Eagles. This was a long time ago. He was talking, he says, the day that you decide that you are no longer, you're thinking about retirement, you get on the field, you're going to get your head, bashed in, and then that's it. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that,
So it's true. You have to, if you're in, and it comes with all the very same risks that it always came through. So we want to keep growing and building, and we're in for that struggle, that fight, that opportunity. And so that is part of it. At the same time, like I said, I have 3 kids now. I had 0 when the brokerage started, and a wife and stuff. And so spending quality time with them and, helping them develop, not my wife, she helped me develop, but with the children, helping them develop. Right. That's the whole life. That's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really not much else.
That pretty mimics my life, man. That's why I enjoy having you here, because it mimics my life and my thought process. Well, not necessarily the kids. I got one. Soon to be going to college soon. I'm really nervous. Well, I'm really excited.
You can have more. It doesn't take long. You know,
we talk about that one day.
It's I don't even know if it's 3 steps. I can write it out for you on another podcast.
Yeah, but it's pretty similar to what you said. I like the Urban Fryer. I remember him. He was an awesome wide receiver. He actually played for the Redskins too.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I heard it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but no, when he was saying that, what you were saying about you here for the ride, you here for the struggle. I remember when I came to your company, you was telling me. You said it gets to a point in the Asia's career when he get burned out. I'm like, Jason, I think I'm really getting close to getting burned out. And I, to be honest with you, I was getting to the point of getting burned out. But just to go back to some of my old podcasts I did in the past, and my old teachings that I talked about, and what I've learned, that when it gets tough, I like it now. I love it. I love the process. I love the struggle. I love the feeling of.
Well, that's where all the growth comes. All the growth comes from the downward pressure.
Exactly.
Again, I heard someone else say, you only evolve.
Right.
Earth only evolves. Whatever. You need downward pressure to cause evolution.
I agree.
And so those hardest days, as much as we don't want them,
right.
Those are the days that help us grow.
Right, and I'm to be honest with you, I think that's one of my mantras. I talk about that so much. If you can see some of my other videos, I say that so much. That growth is in the uncomfort. It was no time in your life ever that you've grown and you wasn't uncomfortable. If you think about as a baby, when your teeth coming out your mouth, there's pain that comes out just for the teeth to grow, right? And then if you think about when you get old, your hair start falling out, or your back started to hurt, but now you're adjusting your body so you can live forever. Or you think about when you taking tests, the be successful in school, whatever it is, it's stressful. Everything is stress. It's always, and if you push through it, if you study, if you get through the pain, then on the outside of it, sunshine. So that is my life. I like to hear that, because when I was burned out last year, and I got to your company, I really was kind of at the point like, man, I want to quit, but not really quit, but I just want to just get rid of it. But now I'm back into it, and I'm like, bring on all the smoke, bring on all the problems, because I know what I'm gonna do.
And nobody's immune from it.
Right, exactly.
The people that we look to out in the world, who we see as the most successful, they're still human. Right. They still deal with issues.
Right.
They still deal with rising and falling. I think, for example, social media
exactly.
confuses a lot of people.
It
because you only see the best of.
Right.
And you don't really see all the other stuff. So if part of being in business, there is an element of competition, perseverance. Absolutely. And even if you're not directly competing with someone, your success depends on sometimes increased market share.
Absolutely.
And I think just sticking to what you're doing, where someone else who might be in the same business for a while can keep up.
Right.
But again, over that long period of time, can they continue to keep up? And I think part of that is mental health. If you tell yourself the wrong things, if you don't treat your body and mind correctly, then it's hard to get up day in and day out and do it. But if you do all those things, you can go for a longer period of time, unless you get unlucky, and you can push past a lot of those people. It's that old, kind of tortoise and the hare story. Slow and steady wins the race.
And I agree with that. I agree with that all the way. So now that you mentioned that, what are some of the things that keep you that's like maybe like a ritual or something that keeps you aligned and understanding that that sometimes it get hard, but you got to push through, or whatever it is that's to keep you. I know obviously your family or anything else that you do that may can help other people, they can use to keep straight.
Yeah, I think I am a little bit competitive.
Right.
I do also really believe in what I'm doing. I said to someone else, I go, real estate brokerage is not exactly feeding the hungry.
Right.
Although we try to do that through philanthropy.
Right. Obviously.
It's not always taking care of those in need, though we do try to do that also.
Right.
But there is a love and joy in what we do. And as well as I do, getting to just talk and interact with a lot of people you do find ways to help people.
Right, absolutely.
And so there is a platform for that.
Right.
And so I really enjoy that work. And on bad days where nothing is going right, even if you can't feel it, you know it. And so you just say, okay, look, it's a bad day. For whatever reason, I'm not at my best. But you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And then when you look back a few days later and you are feeling better, you're so thankful that you did it. Because then if you dismantle, you can make a bad situation worse really easily.
Right.
And so if you just have that discipline to not do that,
yeah,
then once that period passes, because all periods do pass, and then you're in a better spot, you're thankful that you didn't let your foot off the gas too hard.
You know what? Every day, pretty much every. So I work out 5 days a week, right? Maybe 5 to sometimes 7 days, but
they know that about us. Because this is on TV, they can tell. That
well, I don't look like I work out. In my mind, I feel like I work out.
It's what we do. We work out. It's what we do over the 24 hours.
Exactly. They mess it all up. Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying is that that's funny. But my 5 days a week, I work out. 4 of those days, I don't feel like working out. 4 of those days, man. And then I just tell myself before I work out, I say, you know what, man, I gotta just push through it. I give myself. I heard of this 5-second rule. Count to 5 and just do it, right? Whatever the outcome is. But every time that I finish it, man, in the mirror, to me, I feel like I accomplished something.
For sure,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah. So, and that's similar with everything in business, man. And that's the same way I feel in business. Like, man, I don't feel like making these calls. I don't feel like. So I run my own business, right? Obviously, we under your brokers, but I run my own business. And I can get in here anytime I want. But I treat it like I have a supervisor. So I get in here, I rush. You should have seen me this morning. I'm rushing to throw my clothes on just to get here at 8:30 in the morning because I know that I need to be here so I can be productive for my day. And I didn't feel like it this morning, but you got to still get up and do it, man. So I think that I like the fact that most of us, people that are successful in our own respective manner, we understand that some days we just got to push through it. One other thing that I heard from Will Smith, he talked about failing. He's saying fail early, fail often, and fail or not. Whatever it is, 3 things. But what he's saying is that if you fail, that's how you learn. That's how we're gonna learn anyway. So push through it, fail again, and keep failing. And we're gonna learn. Like for example, when we pushing through when we exercising. This made me think about it because I was talking about exercising. When we exercising, the muscle isn't gonna grow until it fails, right? Till you get to reach the point of, oh man, you saw it, like the muscle actually broke down. And then the muscle grows. The muscle gotta fail. Everything gotta fail for it to build a callus. You understand? For your bones to get stronger, for your skin to get stronger. When you rip a skin, you scab up, and then you got stronger skin. Everything is set up that way. So anybody that wanna be successful, they just gotta embrace the failure. I could talk a lot, Jason.
No, I think you're right, but I think also at the beginning, it's just about taking that first step.
Right. Absolutely.
I love the count to 5.
Right.
And just do it.
Right.
It's a long journey. I always think I saw that Netflix movie a while back on the founder of McDonald's.
Right.
And how he didn't find success until his mid-50s.
Right. You told me
and
what's
so
the man name?
You never know. Some people, like famous artists like Van Gogh, they never found success in their lifetime.
Really?
No, it was after death.
Yes, after death. That's true.
And so you really can't know when things are going to happen. But, to use your example, whether you feel like working out or don't feel like working out, or you feel the results or you don't feel the results, you're guaranteed better off working out more times in the year than not.
Right.
If by comparison you didn't work out for a whole year, then we would be we'd be laughing about how we weren't in shape, but we wouldn't even fit in these chairs.
Exactly, we'd be slobs. Exactly, you're right.
So you have to sort of give yourself. You have to be kind to yourself, and you can't be hard on yourself for the work that you do, and you just have to continue to try.
Why it's important to build a real estate portfolio, especially starting with your first home, or even if you don't have your first home. Why is it important to continue to build a real estate portfolio?
Yeah, I think, in this country, the way that we all have sort of been raised together, one thing is that there is sort of a common emotional achievement to owning your home.
Right.
That's a special thing that it's different. You're your own landlord.
Yeah.
It creates a freedom that you may not otherwise have, whether it be how you change your home, how you alter it to fit your lifestyle needs. But just owning, paying a mortgage over time leads to paying off that mortgage and owning it and having an asset that you can do something with. And, it's funny in today's world, and the world is changing so rapidly. You've got the metaverse. You've got these places that don't exist in reality. I'll sound like a 45-year-old. I still live, in kind of the physical world, and there's only but so much of it. And having your own place just creates opportunity for new things. One day you can rent it out. You can live your whole life there. There does come a time when you retire. It's nice to have a very low payment, which over time that would be the case. So there's just a lot of benefits, whether it be emotional or business, that makes sense to owning when you can do that.
Right, I agree with that all the way. So for the people that already have a first home, what about just building a portfolio like other homes and additional homes? Is that a good idea, or what you think?
Yeah, I think everybody has to look at their own set of finances, but a real estate portfolio, just when you hear the words,
I know
it's an attractive thing.
It is,
and you've done it. It's an easy goal in the sense that you can drive by a building, you can see it, you can rent it out to a commercial or another establishment. I heard this is somebody else talking now, but they said something that was interesting. They go, residential real estate to own and rent always makes sense, because in a good market, you may lose businesses and they may not want to pay the rent anymore, but people always need a place to live. And so if you own property that you can then rent out, even in bad times, you can just reduce the rent a little and still make an income. And so that was kind of an interesting take that I got from a smart man. Yeah. So I think that owning a real estate portfolio is smart. I think you need to have good real estate advisors.
Absolutely.
Because there are as many failures as there are success stories.
Absolutely.
But if you go in the right way and you make good decisions, then it can be very rewarding, especially as you get into those later stages in life, to have those assets there. Mortgages paid down. You look at what a dollar was in 1980 and what it is now, today. Inflation works to your benefit in real estate.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Just let's touch on that a little bit. What do you think about the inflation and the rates right now? Is it still a good time, a bad time, or what?
Real estate is always a very individual thing. Obviously, people prefer lower rates to higher rates. But people didn't love the last market. They were putting in offers, getting sorely outbid, felt they were overpaying for homes. Rates are not consistent. You can always refinance.
Absolutely.
With a few less bidders, you might be able to actually make that purchase. Also, the Washington area is just a little more insulated than other places in America, with the federal government, with the government contractors, with a lot of the tech industry here. It's a more solid place to be than somewhere else. So we're very lucky that we live where we do.
I agree.
For some of those reasons.
Yeah, I agree. And I like that, man. So one of the quotes that I've heard was, marry the house and date the rate.
Yeah.
Because the rate is temporary. You purchase the asset, you get the security of, having a home for your family. And something that's going to be there for a long term, but the rate changes, just like you said.
Yeah, look, if you look back at what a home was worth in the 1970s, someone should go back and do that Google search on a piece of property. Rates were also 11, 12, 13%.
Exactly.
And so, would you like to have bought that home then?
Exactly.
Because look at what it'd be worth today. And even at that interest rate, look at what that mortgage payment was back then versus what it would be today. And that's just the benefit of time and inflation, and so you have to think about that when making your decision.
Yep. And then another thing I want to say is that just to add to that, for people that is scared, you still have a payment that that you're comfortable with, right? So you don't have to purchase the interest. You're not looking at the interest rate. You're looking at, hey, I can afford this amount, and that's what you should be that should be your goal, as opposed to oh, I want to wait till the interest rate go down. You don't even know how much you can afford what the interest rate is, because a lot of people are scared to jump out there and just just bid on the home because of the interest rate. But they have great professionals like me, and I learned a lot from a great guy like this guy, Jason. What you thinking? I can see your wheels spinning, Jason.
No. Listen, you're so complimentary of me. Right. We do think alike, and I love the way that you've built your business, and I love the people that you've surrounded yourself with, and it says a lot about you, about the people who are attracted to working with you. Because your team is very much like a family.
Right, it is.
It's filled with smart people. You mentioned Oni. I mean, she's a great one, but there are others too.
Absolutely.
And she's wonderful, and so that's really a nice thing. And so when people come to your team, to be able to know that they have kind of this collaborative community all working for their benefit, it makes a difference.
Absolutely, man. So last thing, Jason, with you, man, what is next for Jason Sherman? Not Martin. I'm thinking, I got Martin in my head. So what is next for Jason Sherman? Listen, you're my guy. Don't get it. I know I keep saying it, but now I'm thinking like two different names. But Jason Sherman, the mogul, one of my mentors. What is next for you, guy?
It's a lot of the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes back to what I said before. It's life is short, but it is a long ride.
Right. And
we really have not changed our philosophy over the last 10 years, and I really doubt that we'll do that over the next 10.
Right.
This is not speaking about our business. It's a people business, and a real estate agent needs to be supported in a lot of different ways. And so we're just going to continue to double down on those efforts. And things will evolve. I mean, the tech evolves, and sort of the opportunities evolve a little bit. And so we kind of reposition ourselves a little bit for that, so we stay current. You can see in a lot of businesses, after 10, 20, 30 years, they're still doing the same thing, but they feel out of date.
Right.
While there's another company that does the very same thing that feels current.
Right.
So I think you have to constantly tweak your business so it stays current, but your core message and your core beliefs shouldn't really change very much.
I love that. That's what just to get on. Not to say too much, but that's what one of the first things I learned with building a business is building it off of your beliefs and your mission statement, and then everything else should be aligned on top of that. And I love to hear that, man. I love to hear the fact that most people come in here with the same desires and the same, and it's not the actual desire, but have the same type of drive and the same mindset and understanding, what it takes to get there. And we're still pushing to get there. Even when I spoke on the older guy, he's still gonna push, so until the day we die. I'm really thankful for that. But I don't want to hold you too long, Jason. I'm like so happy that you came. I was just expecting you to say, Wendell, no, I'm not busy. I'm not available. I'm busy, man. But
I'm honored. Wendell, thank you, and I'm honored that you had me here today.
Yeah.
And it was great. We don't get to hang out in this setting very often, so this was fun for me, and I'll do it every day of the week for you.
I appreciate that. I really do, man. You guys don't understand how thankful I am, how grateful I am to have Jason here. Jason, one more thing. How can these guys find you? Maybe if you want to shoot out your brokerage or whatever it is, how could these guys want to?
Yeah. Arla Real Estate. We're affiliated with a company called App Properties, and if you need me, you go to Wendell. That starts there. But
absolutely.
But you can, arlahre.com, RLAHRE.com is our website, but everything goes through you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you today.
Yeah.
But that was the podcast, guys. I really appreciate you guys viewing and really appreciate you guys listening. Jason, if you want to reach out to him, come through me. But also, just take a look at his brokerage that he built, man. I'm really thankful to have him. ArlaRE.com. Talk to you guys later. Peace.